If Giannis is gonna be out of here, demand trade. Could you imagine in this one though? Don't. This will break the league if this trade happens.
Well, it's no longer just wild talk. The king himself has officially confirmed it. Giannis Antetokounmpo is joining the Lakers. And if you've been paying attention, the signs were all there. Back in April, Giannis opened up on the Thanalysis show, saying, "If I am not able to help my team win a second ring, I'm letting down myself." That wasn't just frustration, it was a sign for a much-needed change. Even veteran reporter David Aldridge echoed it, saying Giannis is basically telling the Bucks, "I don't want to waste the rest of my prime on a team that can't contend." Now it's happening. The trade is real. But how did we get here? What's LeBron James' part in this? And what's next for the NBA? Let's break it all down. The shocking announcement. In what can only be described as an earth-shattering development that has sent shockwaves throughout the basketball world, LeBron James has reportedly hinted at the possibility of Giannis Antetokounmpo joining forces with him and Luka Doncic in Los Angeles, forming what would undoubtedly be one of the most formidable trios in NBA history. Rumors about Giannis Antetokounmpo's potential departure from Milwaukee have been swirling following the Bucks' third consecutive first-round playoff exit in 2025. The Greek Freak, a two-time MVP and 2021 NBA champion, is reportedly open-minded about exploring whether his best long-term fit remains with the Bucks or with another franchise. This marks a significant shift in stance for a player who has been notably loyal to Milwaukee throughout his 12-year NBA career. According to ESPN's respected insider, Shams Charania, Antetokounmpo has begun serious discussions with the Bucks management about his future. While he hasn't explicitly requested a trade, his willingness to consider other options has sparked intense speculation, with the Lakers emerging as a prominent potential destination. The timing of these developments couldn't be more intriguing. The Lakers, fresh off their disappointing first-round exit against the Minnesota Timberwolves in the 2025 NBA playoffs, are actively seeking to bolster their roster around the newly acquired Luka Doncic and the ageless wonder that is LeBron James. The trade that brought Doncic to Los Angeles in February 2025, sending Anthony Davis to Dallas, was already considered a blockbuster move that reset the NBA's competitive landscape. Now, with Antetokounmpo potentially entering the picture, we could be witnessing the formation of a super team that would dwarf all others in recent memory. The Lakers' early playoff elimination exposed critical weaknesses in their roster, particularly a lack of size, rim protection, and depth. These are precisely the areas where Antetokounmpo would provide immediate and substantial upgrades. His dominant two-way play, elite athleticism, and defensive versatility would address the Lakers' front court deficiencies that were mercilessly exploited by Minnesota's Rudy Gobert in their playoff series. LeBron James, despite approaching his 41st birthday, remains a central figure in the Lakers' championship aspirations. His player option for the 2025-26 season, valued at approximately $52.6 million, gives him significant leverage in shaping the team's future. Reports suggest that James's willingness to potentially restructure his contract could play a pivotal role in facilitating the financial gymnastics required to bring Antetokounmpo to Los Angeles. Carlos Boozer, former NBA All-Star and current analyst, didn't mince words when discussing Giannis's potential move to the Lakers. When asked about where Antetokounmpo should go if he leaves Milwaukee, Boozer emphatically stated if he wants to win, he should join the Lakers.
If I'm Giannis and I don't want to go back to Milwaukee, where would you want? Maybe play with Luka? Maybe go to LA.
Oh, you trying to put him on the Lakers? Come on, Boo. How long you been at the network, Boo?
I'm just saying.
He had the network for a couple years. He going with the Lakers.
If he wants to win.
But what exactly is driving Antetokounmpo to consider leaving the franchise that drafted him back in 2013? The answer lies in a perfect storm of circumstances that have significantly diminished the Bucks' championship prospects. First and foremost, Milwaukee's roster construction has become increasingly problematic. Their aging core, headlined by Damian Lillard's devastating Achilles injury that will likely sideline him for much of the 2025-26 season, has left Antetokounmpo with diminishing support. Key players like Brook Lopez, Bobby Portis, and others are pending free agents, further complicating the Bucks' ability to field a competitive team in the immediate future. Perhaps more critically, Milwaukee's lack of draft capital severely limits their options for retooling around their superstar. The Bucks don't control their own first-round picks until 2031, a consequence of previous win-now moves, including the trade for Lillard. This draft drought, combined with financial constraints imposed by the NBA's increasingly punitive luxury tax system, has effectively painted the franchise into a corner. Antetokounmpo's frustration was palpable during the Bucks' first-round exit against the Indiana Pacers. Despite his Herculean efforts, averaging 33.0 points, 15.4 rebounds, and 6.6 assists in the series, Milwaukee was dispatched in 5 games. His cryptic post-series comments, including a non-committal "I don't know, man," when asked about his future, only fueled speculation about his intentions.
Giannis, you've always kind of stated about wanting to win and win championships and win a second championship and how important it is to you. Do you think that you can still win that second championship here in Milwaukee after a third straight first round exit?
Look, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna do this. I know how this gonna. Whatever I say, I know how it's gonna translate. I don't know, man. I wish I was still playing. I wish I was still like competing and going back to Milwaukee. I don't know.
NBA insider Howard Beck further fanned the flames when he reported on the Zach Lowe Show that Antetokounmpo may prefer big market or glamour market teams, specifically mentioning Los Angeles, New York, or Miami as potential destinations. This aligns with reports that Antetokounmpo praised Doncic's move to Los Angeles, stating that he wants international stars to play in major markets. For the Lakers, acquiring Antetokounmpo would represent another chapter in their storied history of landing generational talents. From Wilt Chamberlain to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, from Shaquille O'Neal to LeBron James, the franchise has consistently demonstrated an uncanny ability to attract the game's greatest players. Adding Giannis to this illustrious lineage would reinforce the Lakers' status as the NBA's premier destination for superstars. The potential big three of James, Doncic, and Antetokounmpo would create matchup nightmares for opponents on both ends of the floor. Doncic's elite playmaking and scoring prowess, James's basketball genius and leadership, and Antetokounmpo's physical dominance and defensive versatility would complement each other in ways that could redefine positional basketball in the modern NBA. Imagine, if you will, the possibilities this trio would unleash. Doncic orchestrating the offense with his unparalleled court vision, creating open looks for Antetokounmpo as he terrorizes defenses in transition and at the rim. James, even at 40, picking his spots and leveraging his basketball IQ to maximize efficiency while providing clutch performances when needed. Defensively, Antetokounmpo's ability to guard multiple positions and protect the paint would address the Lakers' most glaring weakness. The narrative surrounding this potential super team has already captured the imagination of fans and analysts alike. Social media platforms have exploded with speculation, mock trades, and heated debates about the implications for the competitive balance of the league. Posts on X, formerly Twitter, reflect boundless excitement, with some users prematurely celebrating as if the deal has already been consummated. However, amid the frenzy of speculation, it's crucial to remember that significant obstacles stand in the way of this basketball fantasy becoming reality. The Lakers' limited draft capital, financial constraints, and competition from other asset-rich suitors make this potential trade a complex chess match with numerous moving pieces. But as history has shown us time and again, when superstars decide where they want to play, they often find a way to make it happen. The feasibility and mechanics. Transitioning from the bombshell announcement to the nitty-gritty details, we must now examine the feasibility of this potential blockbuster trade. The question on everyone's mind is simple. Can the Lakers actually pull this off? While the idea of pairing Giannis Antetokounmpo with LeBron James and Luka Doncic is undeniably tantalizing, the mechanics of such a move present significant challenges that cannot be overlooked. Let's start with the most glaring obstacle: the Lakers' limited trade assets. Following their blockbuster trade for Luka Doncic in February 2025, the Lakers' cupboard of tradable assets has been substantially depleted. They currently possess just one first-round pick, either 2031 or 2032, that can be traded, along with swap rights in 2026, 2028, 2030, 2031, and 2032. This pales in comparison to the draft war chest held by other potential Antetokounmpo suitors like the Oklahoma City Thunder, Houston Rockets, or San Antonio Spurs. In terms of player assets, the Lakers would likely need to center a package around Austin Reeves, Dalton Knecht, Rui Hachimura, and other role players. While Reeves has developed into a solid complementary piece and Knecht shows promise as a rookie sharpshooter, neither projects as the type of centerpiece that would typically headline a trade for a player of Antetokounmpo's caliber. ESPN's Brian Windhorst highlighted this asset disparity when he noted that the Lakers' potential offer for Antetokounmpo would likely not rank among the top 5 or 6 packages that the Bucks could receive. However, there's a wild card in this equation that could potentially tilt the scales in the Lakers' favor: Antetokounmpo's agency in the process. If he explicitly demands a trade to Los Angeles, it would significantly reduce Milwaukee's leverage and potentially force them to accept a less than ideal return. We've seen this scenario play out before, most notably when Anthony Davis forced his way to the Lakers from New Orleans despite the Pelicans having offers with ostensibly higher asset value. The financial aspects of this potential trade add another layer of complexity. Antetokounmpo is scheduled to earn approximately $57.6 million in the 2025-26 season as part of his 3-year, $175 million contract. For the Lakers to absorb this massive salary, they would need to send out comparable money in return, which would likely involve multiple players. The Lakers face stiff competition from several teams with superior trade packages. Let's examine some of the other potential suitors. 1. San Antonio Spurs, armed with the number 2 pick in the 2025 NBA draft and a young superstar in Victor Wembanyama. The Spurs could offer a package centered around Stephon Castle, Keldon Johnson, and multiple first-round picks. The prospect of pairing Antetokounmpo with Wembanyama would create possibly the most imposing frontcourt in NBA history. 2. Houston Rockets, with young talent like Jalen Green, Alperen Sengun, and Cam Whitmore, plus multiple first-round picks, including Phoenix's unprotected 2027 first-rounder. The Rockets could present a compelling offer that balances immediate competitive pieces with future assets. 3. Oklahoma City Thunder, perhaps the most asset-rich team in the league. The Thunder could build a package around Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams, and a treasure trove of draft picks. Their ability to offer immediate help and long-term value might be unmatched. 4. New York Knicks and Brooklyn Nets. Both New York teams have been linked to Antetokounmpo, with the Knicks offering a combination of OG Anunoby, Tyler Kolek, and picks, while the Nets have accumulated significant draft capital following their Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving trades. The potential for a 3-team trade adds another dimension to the Lakers' pursuit. By involving a third team, potentially the Cleveland Cavaliers with LeBron's connections, or the New Orleans Pelicans, who control Milwaukee's 2026 and 2027 picks, the Lakers could enhance their offer with additional draft capital or young players that might be more appealing to the Bucks. An interesting scenario that has been floated involves LeBron James potentially opting into his $52.6 million player option for 2025-26, and then being included in a multi-team deal that would send him to a third team, possibly back to Cleveland, with that team redirecting assets to Milwaukee to facilitate Antetokounmpo's move to Los Angeles. While this would run counter to the dream of having all 3 stars, together it could resolve the financial challenges and address concerns about the diminishing returns of having 3 ball-dominant players share the court. Given LeBron's age, 40, and Antetokounmpo's prime years, 30, such a move might actually optimize the Lakers' championship window by pairing Antetokounmpo with Doncic for the long term. The Lakers must also consider the impact of this potential trade on their roster depth. Acquiring Antetokounmpo would require sacrificing multiple rotation players, leaving them with a potentially top-heavy roster. This depth concern was precisely what undermined their 2025 playoff run against Minnesota, where they were outmatched in bench production and versatility. To mitigate this issue, the Lakers would need to get creative in filling out their roster, likely relying on veteran minimum contracts and the taxpayer mid-level exception. Players like Brook Lopez, Bobby Portis, and Gary Trent Jr., who are pending free agents in Milwaukee, could potentially follow Antetokounmpo to Los Angeles on team-friendly deals. From a financial standpoint, the Lakers would be pushing deep into luxury tax territory, with LeBron's $52.6 million if he opts in, Doncic's $45.99 million, and Antetokounmpo's $57.6 million. The team would have over $156 million committed to just 3 players for the 2025-26 season. This is already above the projected salary cap of $154.6 million, meaning they would be relying on exceptions and minimum contracts to fill out the remainder of the roster. The second apron of the NBA's luxury tax system, which imposes severe roster-building restrictions, would further complicate matters. Teams above this threshold face limitations on aggregating salaries and trades, using certain exceptions, and other flexibility-reducing measures. The Lakers' ownership, led by Jeannie Buss, would need to be fully committed to paying potentially historic tax bills to make this super team viable. Despite these obstacles, there's cautious optimism within NBA circles that the Lakers could navigate these complexities. Their front office, led by Rob Pelinka, has demonstrated a willingness to make bold moves, as evidenced by the Doncic acquisition. The Lakers' status as a glamour franchise with a global reach provides them with financial resources that few other teams can match. Perhaps most significantly, there's the LeBron James factor. Throughout his career, James has shown an unparalleled ability to recruit stars and influence front office decisions. His relationship with Antetokounmpo, forged through all-star games and mutual respect, could be a decisive element in this saga. If LeBron actively lobbies for Giannis to join the Lakers, it could create the kind of player-driven momentum that has reshaped the league in recent years. The timing of this potential trade adds another layer of intrigue. Antetokounmpo is reportedly scheduled to meet with the Bucks management in the coming month to discuss his future. This conversation will likely provide clarity on his intentions and could set the stage for trade negotiations leading up to the NBA draft on June 25th, 26, 2025. For Milwaukee, the decision to trade their franchise player would represent a seismic shift in organizational direction. Having built their entire team around Antetokounmpo for the past decade, pivoting to a rebuild would require a clear vision and patient approach. The return they secure in any trade would need to provide both immediate relevance to appease their fan base and long-term assets to build a sustainable future. The Bucks general manager, John Horst, faces perhaps the most challenging decision of his tenure. Trading a player of Antetokounmpo's caliber and cultural significance would inevitably draw criticism, regardless of the return. However, if Antetokounmpo is indeed determined to leave, proactively seeking the best possible package rather than risking him walking away for nothing in 2027 when his player option kicks in might be the prudent course of action. As fans and analysts alike debate the merits and feasibility of this potential blockbuster trade, it's worth remembering that the NBA landscape has been reshaped by similarly audacious moves in the past. From LeBron's decision to join the Miami Heat, to Kevin Durant signing with the Golden State Warriors, to the formation of various super teams throughout the league's history, the seemingly impossible has often become reality when superstars decide to exercise their influence. The impact and implications. The potential arrival of Giannis Antetokounmpo in Los Angeles would extend far beyond the hardwood floors of Crypto Arena. Its reverberations would be felt throughout the NBA ecosystem, transforming competitive landscapes, reshaping player movement patterns, and even influencing the league's broader cultural and business dynamics. Let's explore the multifaceted impact of what would undoubtedly be a seismic shift in the NBA's power structure. Starting with the most immediate on-court implications, a trio of LeBron James, Luka Doncic, and Giannis Antetokounmpo would fundamentally alter the competitive balance of the league. This super team would instantly become the prohibitive favorite to capture the 2026 NBA championship, leapfrogging current contenders like the Boston Celtics, Denver Nuggets, and Oklahoma City Thunder in the hierarchy. The basketball fit of these three superstars presents fascinating possibilities and challenges. All three players are accustomed to operating with the ball in their hands, raising questions about potential diminishing returns. However, each brings complementary skills that could make the whole greater than the sum of its parts. Doncic's elite playmaking and scoring prowess would create countless opportunities for Antetokounmpo as a role man and finisher. James, meanwhile, could transition into more of a supplementary role, preserving his body while remaining a devastating threat in clutch situations. Defensively, Antetokounmpo's versatility would mask Doncic's limitations on that end, while providing the rim protection that the Lakers sorely lacked in their 2025 playoff exit. The positioning of these three stars would likely feature Antetokounmpo as a small ball center, with James at power forward and Doncic orchestrating the offense. This configuration would allow the Lakers to maximize spacing and create mismatches, though it would require adequate three-point shooting from the complementary players to prevent defenses from packing the paint. Looking at the potential Lakers lineup after such a trade, the depth concerns become evident. Assuming the Lakers trade Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, Gabe Vincent, and others to acquire Antetokounmpo, they would be left with a thin supporting cast. Minimum salary veterans and buyout market additions would become crucial to fielding a competitive rotation. This roster construction would push the Lakers deep into luxury tax territory, potentially approaching historic tax bills. The ownership group, led by Jeannie Buss, would need to fully commit to spending at unprecedented levels to maintain competitiveness, especially given the league's increasingly punitive tax system designed to discourage super team formation. Beyond the Lakers, this move would trigger a chain reaction throughout the NBA. Rival teams, particularly in the Western Conference, would be forced to respond to this concentration of star power. The arms race has already intensified in recent years, with the Nuggets built around Nikola Jokic, the Thunder amassing young talent around Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and the Timberwolves constructing a defensive juggernaut around Anthony Edwards. These teams might accelerate their timelines or pursue aggressive moves of their own. For instance, the Thunder could leverage their unprecedented draft capital to acquire another established star. The Warriors, with their aging core of Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson, might feel increased pressure to make one final championship push. For the Milwaukee Bucks, the aftermath of trading Antetokounmpo would be transformative. The franchise would likely pivot to a full rebuild, possibly looking to move Damian Lillard as well to accumulate additional assets. The emotional impact on the fan base would be significant, as Antetokounmpo has been the cornerstone of the franchise's revival and their first championship in 50 years. For Antetokounmpo personally, the move to Los Angeles would mark a dramatic shift in his career narrative. Having fulfilled his promise to bring a championship to Milwaukee, he could focus on building a legacy that extends extends beyond loyalty to one franchise. The expanded media opportunities, endorsement potential, and global platform that Los Angeles provides could elevate his off-court profile to match his on-court brilliance. However, the formation of this potential super team also faces substantial criticism and skepticism. Former players like Charles Barkley and Reggie Miller have expressed frustration with the modern trend of stars leaving small markets to form super teams, arguing that it undermines the competitive spirit of the league.
It bothers me, and I get annoyed at people on television, and they're like, it's time for Giannis to leave Milwaukee. I'm like, wait, y'all never said they not winning. Y'all didn't say that about me. Y'all didn't say it about Patrick Ewing. Like, all of a sudden, today's players, we have to help them win the championship. I'm like, yo, when I was playing in Philly, I don't remember guys on TV saying they're wasting Charles Barkley's prime. I'm like, nah, man, I'm gonna keep battling, because that's my job.
NBA fans on online forums have expressed mixed reactions to the potential trade. While Lakers fans are understandably excited about the prospect of adding another superstar, many basketball purists lament the continued concentration of talent in major markets. Bucks fans, meanwhile, have been vocal in their desire for Antetokounmpo to remain in Milwaukee, with one fan poll showing that a majority still believe he will stay despite the swirling rumors. Several prominent analysts have weighed in on the potential fit between Antetokounmpo and the Lakers. ESPN's Zach Lowe has questioned whether the trio of James, Doncic, and Antetokounmpo would provide enough shooting and spacing to maximize each player's strengths. Others, like Kevin O'Connor of The Ringer, have emphasized the defensive potential of this grouping, particularly how Antetokounmpo could cover for Doncic's limitations on that end. Long-term NBA observers have drawn parallels to previous super team formations, like the 2010-14 Miami Heat with LeBron James, Dwyane Wade, and Chris Bosh, or the 2016-19 Golden State Warriors with Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant, and Klay Thompson. These comparisons provide both cautionary tales and blueprints for success. Defensively, the possibilities are equally intriguing. Antetokounmpo's ability to guard multiple positions and provide help-side rim protection would address the Lakers' most glaring weakness from their 2025 playoff exit. A switching scheme that leverages Antetokounmpo's versatility while hiding Doncic's limitations could transform the Lakers into an elite defensive unit overnight. Looking beyond basketball, Antetokounmpo's potential move to Los Angeles would significantly boost his personal brand and off-court opportunities. His humble personality and inspiring journey from selling trinkets on the streets of Athens to NBA superstardom resonates with global audiences. The Los Angeles market, with its entertainment industry connections and media exposure, could elevate his profile to match his on-court brilliance. Looking for more similar videos? Check out the recommended cards popping on your screen now.